ॐ शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अगजानन पद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानामेकदन्तमुपास्महे। श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां श्रीहयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रीहयग्रीवमूर्तये नमः। सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। उमाकोमलहस्ताब्जसम्भावितललाटकं हिरण्यकुण्डलं वन्दे कुमारं पुष्करस्रजं। வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு ஹர ஹரோஹரா. लोकवीर्यं महापूज्यं सर्वरक्षाकरं विभुं पार्वती हृदयानन्दं शास्तारं प्रणमाम्यहं। स्वामिये शरणमय्यप्पा। वागर्ताविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्तप्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ। श्रीपार्वती परमेश्वराभ्यां नमः। कोमलं पूजयन् वेणुं श्यामलोऽयं कुमारकः वेदवेद्यं परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। पीताम्बरं करविराजितचक्रशङ्खकौमोदकी सरसिजं करुणासमुद्रं राधासहायम् अतिसुन्दरमन्दहासं वातालयेशम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। कृष्णो रक्षतु मां चराचर गुरुः कृष्णं नमस्ये सदा। कृष्णेनैव सुरक्षितोऽहमसकृत् कृष्णाय दत्तं मनः। कृष्णादेव समुद्भवो मम विभो कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहं। कृष्णे भक्तिरचञ्चलास्तु भगवन् हे कृष्ण तुभ्यं नमः। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं नम्राणां सन्निधत्ते सततमपि पुरस्तैरणभ्यर्थितानपि अर्थान् कामानजस्रं वितरति परमानन्दसान्द्रां गतिं च। इत्थं निःशेषलभ्यो निरवधिकफलः पारिजातो हरे त्वं क्षुद्रं तं शक्रवाटी ध्रुवमभिलषति व्यर्थमर्त्यव्रजोऽयं। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं श्रीभट्टपादम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। वंशीविभूषितकरात् नवनीरदाभात् पीताम्बरात् अरुणबिम्बफलादरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। കൈരണ്ടും കൂപ്പി ഞാൻ വീണ്ടുമീറക്കുന്നു നീരജലോചന നിന്നോടായി. ഏതീനു മഞ്ഞനെ കുമ്പിടേണ്ടാത്തോരു രീതിയിൽ നീ എന്നെ പാലിക്കെന്നായി. കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ. Good morning, everyone. Okay, yes, let's do a review of 38 today. Shubha Hari, can you do one half, and maybe Lalita Rajagopalan, you can do one half. You want to start, Shubha?
Yes, one second, just taking the pitch. Krishnavatara Varnanam. आनन्दरूप भगवन्नयीतेऽवतारे प्राप्ते प्रदीप्तपवदङ्गनिरीयमानैः कान्तिव्रजैरिव मण्डलैर्ध्याम् आवृण्वति विरूरिचे किल वर्षवेला आसासु शीतलतरासु पयोदतोयैः आसासिताप्तिविवसेषु च सज्जन्नेषु नैसाकरोदयविधौ निशि मध्यमायां क्लेशापहस्त्रिजगतां त्वमिहा विरासीः बाल्या
நடுவில் அந்த நாராயணனா அந்த தமத்புதம்.
where?
Remember that we added the.
Oh, I missed that part when I was listening to the recording that day.
Okay, all right. Just make sure you add those two things, okay? But you continue for now, yeah.
बाल्या स्पर्शापि वपुषा ददुषा विभूतिः उद्यात् किरीटकट काङ्गदहारभाषां शङ्कारिवारिज गदा परिभाषितेन मेघाश्रितेन परिलेशितसूतिकेः वक्षस्थलीसुकनिलीन विलासि लक्ष्मी मन्दाक्षलक्षितकटाक्षविमोक्षभेदैः तन्मन्दिरस्य कलकंशकृतामलक्ष्मीम् उन्मार्जयन् निवविरेजित वासुदेव.
The third and fourth line, it's a comma at the end of the third line. I felt like you were saying three and four together as well, but yeah.
सौरिष्टुधीरमुनिमण्डलचेतसोऽपि दूरासितं वपुरुदीक्षनिजेक्षणाभ्याम् आनन्दभाष्प पुलकोद्गमगदाद्रः तुष्टावदृष्टि मकरन्दरसम्भवन्तम्.
Second line, first word, Durastitam.
Oh, I said Durastitam instead.
Durastitam.
Okay.
All right, you can stop there. Yeah.
देव प्रसीद परपुरुषतापवल्लीर् निर्नूलितात्र समनेत्र कलाविलासिन् खेतानपा कुरु कृपा गुरुभिः कटाक्षैर् ध्यातीतेन मुदितेन शिरं नुतो भूः.
The third line, for the second line, Nirluna, and the Nirluni we changed it to Nirluna. Second line, first word. Okay. And the third line, it's Katakshaihi. The Visarga gets added.
Oh.
The fourth line becomes Ityadi instead of the Rityadi.
Oh, okay, Ityadi, okay, sorry. Matra chanetra salila stritadhatravalya stotrai vishtu da guna karunalayastvam prashina janma yugalam pradibodhyatabhyam madhurkira dadita manusha balavesham.
Vesham.
Oh, Vesham, sorry. तत्प्रेरितस्तदुनु नन्दतनूजयाते व्यत्यासमारचयितुं च हि सुरसूनुः त्वाम् अस्तयोरदित चित्तविदार्यमार्यैर् अम्बोरुहस्तकलहंस किशोररम्यम्.
Third line like Vidaramaryehi Visarga anga.
Okay.
Okay, and the first line, first word is Twat Preritas. You said Tat, so Twader. Twat Preritas.
Okay. Okay.
And the second line, last one was Shura Sunuhu, the long U, okay. Shura Sunuhu.
Okay. Jata tada pashupasad nitra vimudrita mata krita pauralokam tatprerana kimiva chitra machetanairiad Tvarai swayam vayakati sankati taisu kadam. That's it, right?
No,
then
one
I
more.
Continue with that.
No, well, it's 10th stanza. Okay.
Oh, okay. शेषेण पूरि पणवारित वारिनाथ स्वैरं प्रदर्शित पतो मणिदीपितेन त्वां तारयन् स खलु धन्यतमप्रतस्ते सोऽयं त्वमीश मम नाशय रोगवेगान्.
Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha.
Rajeshji, ஒரே
Rajesh,
question. அது vyakati தானே இந்த last line?
Vyagati.
Vyakati, right?
Gha sound, the second gha.
Yeah, vyagati. Sorry, not vyagati. Okay.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I think she said Vyagati. I heard a little bit that. Yeah.
இல்ல எந்த இடத்துல சொல்லுங்க.
Ninth stanza, fourth line, third word. Dware swayam yaghati.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah, got it. Okay.
Viji, you had the same question or?
Rajesh, actually, I missed this class the previous week when you taught the first 3 paragraphs. நான் ரெக்கார்டிங்லேருந்து கற்றுக்கும் போது செகண்ட் ஸ்டான்ஸாக்கு அப்புறமா you've also chanted some additional
Yeah,
things that's
that's there in the WhatsApp group. I had pasted that in English, Tamil, and Sanskrit. So you have to write it down after the second stanza.
Sorry, thank you. I missed that one. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's there in the WhatsApp. You should be able to scroll back, else I can repost it. Okay.
Sure.
Shubha, you also just make sure you note that. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's start from. I think we have to start from the 8th stanza today. Okay. So Padmaja, Ramesh, you can be a student, and Preeti, you can be a student. So stanza 8. ततः पशुपमन्दिरे त्वयि मुकुन्दनन्दप्रिया प्रसूतिशयने शये रुदति किञ्चिदञ्चत्पदे विबुध्य वनिता जनैः तनयसम्भवे घोषिते मुदा किमु वदाम्यहो सकलमाकुलं गोकुलम्. So in the last class we saw about the Krishna being transferred, moved over to Gokulam, right, which was on the other side of Yamuna, and then Vasudeva then getting a girl baby over to the side, and then Kamsa was trying to get rid of that girl baby when she then went up on the sky and said to Kamsa that that the person who is going to be killing you is already born elsewhere, so you're just wasting your time, right? So and then Kamsa gets a little bit more scared, and then we saw how he lets go Vasudeva and Devaki because there's nothing more that can be done, right? The 8th baby is already born, so Vasudeva and Devaki themselves cannot control it anymore. So and then at the time we also saw how in the last stanza, 7th stanza, his other emissaries, his other people, which included Putana, Baka, Pralamba, all of them are saying, don't worry, Kamsa, we will go and scout for every single newborn who has been born in the last few days, right, into your entire kingdom, and we'll try to get rid of them. That's kind of where we left. So we're kind of leaving Mathura there now, and we're going to move to Gokulam. So this baby, which was then kept next to Yashoda, right, when she was sleeping, because again we said due to Yoga Maya's influence, all of them were sleeping at the time, but the baby was just left there in the early hours of the morning. So now that the spell is gone, the Yoga Maya spell is gone, suddenly everybody wakes up because they're seeing this they're hearing the baby cry. So they realize that, okay, what, the new baby is actually born right now, and everybody rushes to see, and then they go and see that a small boy has been born. And then Nandagopa's first child, so he's extremely happy. And to set context, Nandagopa is like the Gopas are generally cowherds. So they primarily graze cows, and then they take the milk which comes from the cows, and then they convert it to butter, ghee, and all that, and they make money, right? So they're kind of like Vaishyas to some extent. They're businessmen, but their primarily business is cows. So now they're extremely happy that Nandagopa has actually got a boy child right now, and Sakala Makulam Gokulam, entire Gokulam is brimming with joy looking at the baby. Tataha, put a F, Tataf Pashupa Mandire Tvai Mukunda Nanda Priya, put a plus, Prasuti Shayane Shaye. Prasuti Shayane is referring to the labor room. Prasuti Shayane Shaye Rudati Kinchit Anchat Pade. You can break it that Kinchit Anchat Pade. So those two lines put together. Vibudhya Vanita Janaihi. That is, you remove it, put a Visarga comma, Vanita Janaihi. Tanaya Sambhave Ghoshite, comma. Muda Kimu Vadamyaho, comma again. Sakalam Akulam Gokulam. ततः पशुपमन्दिरे त्वयि मुकुन्दनन्दप्रिया प्रसूतिशयने शये रुदति किञ्चिदञ्चत्पदे विबुध्य वनिता जनैः तनयसम्भवे घोषिते मुदा किमु वदाम्यहो सकलमाकुलं गोकुलम्.
ततः पशुपमन्दिरे त्वयि मुकुन्द नन्दप्रिया प्रसूतिशयने शये रुदति किञ्चित् अञ्चत् पदे विबुध्य वनिता जनैः तनयसम्भवे घोषिते मुदा किमु वदाम्यहो सकलम् आकुलं गोकुलम् ततः पशुपमन्दिरे त्वयि मुकुन्द नन्दप्रिया प्रसूतिशयने शये रुदति किञ्चित् अञ्चत् पदे विबुध्य वनिता जनैः तनयसम्भवे घोषिते मुदा किमु वदाम्यहो सकलमाकुलं गोकुलम्
ततः पशुपमन्दिरे त्वयि मुकुन्दनन्दप्रिया प्रसूतिशयने शये रुदति किञ्चिदञ्चत्पदे विबुध्यर्वनिता जनैः तनयसम्भवे घोषिते मुदा किमु वदाम्यहो सकलमाकुलं गोकुलम् ततः पशुपमन्दिरे त्वयि मुकुन्दनन्दप्रिया प्रसूतिशयने शये रुदति किञ्चिदञ्चत्पदे विभूत्य वनिता जनैः तनयसम्भवे घोषिते मुदा किमु वदाम्यहो सकलमाकुलं गोकुलम्.
The vadam yaho kapram is a comma. Okay, it's kind of like an exclamation mark, but we'll just pause and put a comma there.
Okay.
Stanza 9. Aho khalu yashodaya navakalaya cheto haram bhavantamalαμantike pratamamapi bantya drisha punasthanabharam nijam sapadi payayantya muda manoharatanusprusha jagati punyavanto jitaha. She says, what a blessing for Yashoda. She's like waking up from sleep, right? Not knowing whether she got a boy or a girl. And then she wakes up, and next to her, she sees this beautiful baby who is like in the Navakhalaya, like we said, like the dark blue lily, which is like a very blackish color, right? So that, like we said, the rain-bearing clouds, dark gray color baby lying next to her, right? And then, of course, it's a very pretty baby. And so she's like so happy because the bliss incarnate is right next to you. So anytime Krishna is there, there's always going to be bliss around, right? There's no doubt about that. So now that baby personified is bliss personified is lying next to her. So she's just in a state of ecstasy, right? She's extremely happy at that time. And then she says, Jagati punyavanto jitaha. He says there's nobody, she's won over everything. There's no other punyam anybody else can make than having somebody lying next to them, Krishna lying next to them. And then as a mother, of course, she has to then feed him, feed Krishna. So she says again, Bhadrapat keeps repeating how blessed Yashoda is, right? To have to breastfeed Krishna at that point. Aho khalu Yashodaya nava kalaya chetoharam, comma. Next word, I'm going to break it into three, but you can say it together as well. Bhavantam alam antike. Or you can say Bhavantam alam antike together. Prathamam api bhantya drisha. Punaha, puta is punas sthanabharam nijam sapadi payayantya muda, comma. Manohara tanu sprusha jagati punyavanto jitaha. Aho khalu yashodaya navakalaya cheto haram bhavantamalamantikē pratamamapi bantya drisha punasthanabharam nijam sapadi payayantya muda manoharatanusprusha jagati punyavanto jitaha.
अहो खलु यशोदया नवकलाय चेतोहरं भवन्तमलमन्दिके प्रथमम् आपि बन्त्यादृशा पुनस्तनभरं निजं सपदि पाययन्त्या मुदा मनोहरतनुस्पृशा जगति पुण्यवन्तो जिताः अहो खलु यशोदया नवकलाय चेतोहरं भवन्तमलमन्तिके प्रथमम् आपि पन्त्यादृशा पुनस्तनभरं निजं सपदि पाययन्त्या मुदा मनोहरतनुस्पृशा जगति पुण्यवन्तो जिताः.
अहो खलु यशोदया नवकलाय चेतोहरं भवन्तमलमन्तिके प्रथममापिबन्त्यादृशा पुनस्तनभरं निजं सपदि पाययन्त्या मुदा मनोहरतनुस्पृशा जगति पुण्यवन्तो जिताः अहो खलु यशोदया नवकलाय चेतोहरं भवन्तमलमन्तिके प्रथममापिबन्त्यादृशा पुनस्तपनभरं निजं सपदि पाययन्त्या मुदा मनोहरतनुस्पृशा जगति पुण्यवन्तो जिताः.
Third line, first word. Second time, you said something slightly different. Punas stanabharam.
Okay. पुनस्तनभरं निज सपति पाययन्त्या मुदा.
That's it. Bhavat kushala kamyaya sakhalu nanda gopastadha pramoda bhara sankulo dvijakula yakinna dadat tataiva pashupalakah kimuna mangalam te nire jagat tritaya mangalam tomiha pahi ma bhamayat. Little bit continuing from the previous one. When we say, Yashoda is so fortunate, Yashoda is so lucky, that she's having Krishna lying, there's a baby lying next to her, right? And that's the amount of the biggest, greatest love one can have is a mother's love towards a child, especially when the child is small, right? When the child doesn't retaliate much. So at that time, that's the feeling that Yashoda is going through. And so at that time, even in Srimad Bhagavatam, Parikshit asked Sukabrahman, how can Yashoda be so fortunate? Right? Like, why Yashoda? Right? We all wonder that question. Why? How did Yashoda get that opportunity that Krishna is born as such a small baby to her, and then she's going to spend the entire childhood, which are the sweetest memories, with Krishna at that time, right? So, how can somebody attain that level, right? What did she do to attain that level of punyam, right? So, at that time, Shukabrahman responds by saying that such things, it's not like there is something that you say, okay, I do so many times, I do some japam, and then I hit that limit. He says there's nothing like that. So these are all permanent devotees of the Lord over thousands and thousands of years, over thousands and thousands of lives, right? And they finally attained that state that they are extensions of the Lord itself. So it's not like a normal human being can just come in and say, okay, I'm going to do this over the next 10 years, and all of a sudden I'm going to get this opportunity. So no, Yashoda and Nanda Gopa are external associates of the Lord who are always there when it's going to come. So when Krishna Avataram was going to happen, they were naturally going to be there. So the previous birth, they were called as Drona and Dara. So those were the husband and wife who were there, who were always, they were just external, all permanent devotees. And so they told Brahma that we are such close devotees of the Lord. And, but however, we want to experience the love of having the Lord with us all the time for a period of time, right? Because that is different. It's one thing to be constantly thinking about the Lord. Second thing to be actually interacting with Bhagavan itself, right? That was the request or the prayer they had, very similar to what Prisni and Sutapa had for Devaki and Vasudeva. That's why they got this opportunity. So that's what Shukabrahman explains there, in this at this context, right? Anyway, so here we saw how Yashoda was happy. And same thing with Nanda Gopa. So Nanda Gopa Sada, even he's Bhavat Kushala Kamya. He's extremely happy to see that a boy has been born, and then he goes and invites Dvija Kulaya. Dvija means one who's twice born, which is referring generally to Brahmana, because Brahmins, when they wear the Upanayanam, they are born again. So he invites all these Brahmins, gives them a lot of cows and other things as charity, and then they do the birth ceremony, Vedic birth ceremony for Krishna as well. And then, of course, you are there, Krishna. So Mangalam, there is just auspiciousness everywhere in that Gokulam. And then with that, this Dashakam comes to an end. Please eradicate all my ailments also.
Rajeshji, I just remembered Yannatavam Sedane Yashoda.
That is going to come at some point. I'll tell you to sing, not today, because there's another chapter, Dashakam, when I'll tell you to sing that song. Because next several Dashakams are going to be Krishna's childhood, right? So it's all the interactions Krishna is going to have with Yashoda.
No, I just said because you said what Punyam Yashoda.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely, 100%. You're right. That song essentially is capturing that essence, right? Like you said, yeah. Bhavat Kushala Kamyaya Sa Khalu Nandagopastada, प्रमोदभर संकुलो द्विज कुलाय किन्ना ददात तथैव पशुपालकाः is there put a ih or ih sound पशुपालकाः किमु न मंगलम तेनिरे कॉमा जगत त्रितय मंगल कॉमा त्वमिह पाहि मामामयात् भवत्कुशलकाम्यया सखलु नन्दगोपस्तथा प्रमोदभरसङ्कुलो द्विजकुलाय किन्ना ददात् तथैव पशुपालकाः किमु न मङ्गलं ते निरे जगत्त्रितयमङ्गल त्वमिह पाहि मामामयात्
भवत्कुशलकाम्यया सखलु नन्दगोपस्तदा प्रमोदभरसङ्कुलो द्विजकुलाय किन्ना ददात् तथैव पशुपालकाः किमु न मङ्गलं ते निरे जगत्त्रितयमङ्गलत्वमिह पाहि मामामयात् भवत्कुशलकाम्यया सखलु नन्दगोपस्तदा प्रमोदभरसङ्कुलो द्विजकुलाय किन्ना ददात् तथैव पशुपालकाः किमु न मङ्गलं ते निरे जगत्त्रितयमङ्गलत्वमिह पाहि मामामयात्.
Fourth line, Padmaja, after Mangala, there is a comma, okay? The fourth line. Jagat Utaya Mangala, comma.
Oh, shit. Thank you.
भवत्कुशलकाम्यया सखलु नन्दगोपस्तदा प्रमोदभरसङ्कुलो द्विजकुलाय किन्न ददात् तथैव पशुपालकाः किमु न मङ्गलं ते निरे जगत्त्रिदयमङ्गल त्वमिह पाहि मामामयात्.
Second, we see the second line, last word.
Kinna
dadat.
Kinna dadat. Okay. भवत्कुशलकाम्यया सखलु नन्दगोपस्तदा प्रमोदपरसङ्कुलो द्विजकुलाय किन्ना ददात् तथैव पशुपालकाः किमु न मङ्गलं ते निरे जगत्त्रिदयमङ्गलत्वमिह पाहि मामामयात्.
Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Okay, go to Dasakam 40. So 40 and 41 are connected, but 40 is Putana Moksham. And typically at this, generally in the 40s and 50s, Dashakam, we normally, I'm able to do 2 Dashakams in a day. That's the rate at which we'll go, right? So today we'll be able to finish 40, and then we'll start 41, okay? But at some point, I'll get into a synchronicity, so we do exactly beginning to end of 2 Dashakams. Stanza 1. तदनु नन्दममन्दशुभास्पदं नृपपुरीं करदानकृते गतं समवलोक्य जगाद भवत्पिता विदितकंससहाय जनोद्यमः. So still the early days of Krishna's birth, less than a month or somewhere in the 1 month timeline, right? Or 1.5 months, whatever. So at that time, Nanda Gopal, like we said, because he's like the chieftain of that area, he has to go at a periodic time to Kamsa to go pay the taxes. So Nanda is going along with few other Gopas to Kamsa to pay taxes. So at the time when Vasudeva comes to hear that Nanda Gopa has come, and like I said, Vasudeva and Nanda Gopa are like kind of from the same family tree, right? They just branched off at some point. And Vasudeva knows all the more details than Nanda Gopa at this point. So Vasudeva then goes and meets with Nanda Gopa because he's meeting him after a really long time. And at that time, then Vasudeva then talks to Nanda Gopa about all the atrocities that Kamsa has been creating, right? Getting rid of his 6 children and all this. And so they meet each other here. Tadanu Nandama Mandha Shubhaspadam, Nripa Purim Kara Dana Krite Gatam Samavalokya Jagada Bhavat Pita, Vidita Kamsa Sahaya Janodhyamaha. Tadanu Nandama Manda Shubhaspadam Nripapurim Karadana Krite Gatam Samavalokya Jagada Bhavat Pita विदितकं ससहाय जनोद्यमः
तदनुनन्दममन्दसुभास्पदं नृपपुरीं खरधानकृते गतं समवलोक्य जगाद भवत्पिता विदितकं सहाय जनोद्यमः तदनुनन्दममन्दसुभास्पदं नृपपुरीं करदानकृते गतं समवलोक्य जगाद भवत्पिता विदितकं ससहाय जनोद्यमः
तदनुनन्दममन्दशुभास्पदं नृपपुरीं करदानकृते गतं समवलोक्य जगात भवत्पिता विदितकं ससहाय जनोद्यमः तदनुनन्दममन्दशुभास्पदं नृपपुरीं करदानकृते गतं समवलोक्य जगात भवत्पिता विदितकं ससहाय जनोद्यमः.
That's two. ऐसके तव बालक जन्म मां सुकयतेऽद्य निजात्मज जन्मवत् इति भवत्पितृतां व्रजनायके समधिरोप्य शशंस तमादरात्. So the time Vasudeva says, first he inquires about Balarama. Of course, the two children are not named yet, but I'm going to use the names to reference who they are, right? So he says, Balarama, who's with Rohini, who's Vasudeva's wife, but at the end of the day, Nanda Gopa and Yashoda are also taking care of them. So he says, hope that Balarama is doing fine, and thanks a lot for taking care of him when I am not there in person, right? He talks about that. Then he congratulates Nanda Gopa to say, I heard that you got a boy child. He say you're so fortunate, you're so lucky that, you got a boy child. And then he talks about it. He says that the birth of your son, the Vasudeva telling Nanda Gopa, the birth of your son, I feel like I have gotten a son. No, poor Vasudeva does not have any kids right now, right? He's lost all his 8 children, technically, right? As from the way Nanda Gopa looks. So he says, you, Nanda Gopa, getting a boy, I feel like it is my own boy right now. That's the feeling I'm getting. That's the amount of love I have for your boy. Because Vasudeva cannot tell Nanda Gopa that it is his own son who is there at this point, right? So he's saying, I really love that son of yours. I heard that you got a son. I really feel it's my own son who has been born in your house right now. So, I sakhe tava balaka janma mam, put a plus. Sukayatedhya nijatmaja janmavat. Nija atmaja. It's like my own son. So, nijatmaja janmavat. So, that line is together. Iti bhavat pitrutam vraja nayake, comma. Samadhi ropya shashamsa tamadarat.
Rajesh, your rare question. Sorry to interrupt. So, isn't Vasudeva still in prison? How
No.
can he meet Nanda Gopa?
When Devi came, when the girl got transferred and Kamsa smashed, and the Devi went up on the sky and she said, your son is already born.
Yeah. Maya Devi he got released. Oh, he got released that time.
Yeah. So he comes to a realization saying, you know what? Inime what am I going to do? The 8th son is already born, right? I can't question fate anymore. And anyway, Vasudeva, Devaki, no use putting them in jail. They can have any number of children they want from now on, right? Or, I can release them. It doesn't matter. So he lets them go at that point.
Okay. Thank you.
Ai sakhe tava balaka janma mam sukayate nijatmaja janmavat iti bhavat pitrutam prajanayake samadhiropya shashamsa tamadarat.
अयि सखे तव बालक जन्म मां सुखयतेऽद्य निजात्मज जन्मवत् इति भवत् पितृताम्रजनायके समधिरोप्य शशंस तमादरात्. अयि सखे तव बालक जन्म मां सुखयतेऽद्य निजात्मज जन्मवत् इति भवत् पितृताम्रजनायके समधिरोप्य शशंस तमादरात्.
अयि सखे तव बालक जन्म मां सुखयतेत्य निजात्मज जन्मवत् इति भवत्पितृतां व्रजनायके समधिरोप्य शशंसतमादरात् अयि सखे तव बालक जन्म मां सुखयतेद्य निजात्मज जन्मवत् इति भवत्पितृतां व्रजनायके समधिरोप्य शशंसतमादरात्.
Preeti, on the first line, Janmamam and then Sukayate, it'll go together, okay?
Okay.
Stanza 3. Iha cha santyanimitya shatani te katakasim nitato lagughamyatam iti cha tad vachasa brajanayako bhavadapaya bhiya drutamayayo. So at that time, so when they meet, Vasudeva is telling, see, because Vasudeva knows what's happening in Mathura right now with Kamsa. Like all his emissaries, they're going to be going around looking for newborn kids, right? So Vasudeva knows that, but he can't quite tell that to Nandagopa because then Nandagopa is going to panic. But he does tell him, however, that there are a lot of I'm feeling some bad omens happening here, right, at this point, and I'm worried for your newborn child. So he says, Nandagopa, you should not stay away from Gokulam for a really long amount of time. Now that you've come here, you've met Kamsa and paid your taxes, I recommend you go back immediately because I'm actually feeling that something bad is going to be happening over the next few days. So, of course, Nandagopa takes Vasudeva's words to heart. He says, okay, time for me to leave. So they depart, and as they're departing, Nandagopa is wondering, how is Vasudeva thinking about this? Maybe, he's like a great personality. He's able to predict something that's going to be happening. But anyway, they all are going back to Gokulam right now, concerned that, hope everything is fine there. Iha cha santya nimitta shatani te, kataka simni tato lagu gamyatam iti cha tad vachasa brajanayako, bhavadapaya bhiya drutamayayo. Iha cha santya nimitta shatani te katakasim nitato lagu gamyatam iti cha tad vachasa brajanayako bhavadapaya bhiya drutamayayo.
इह च सन्ध्यनिमित्तशतानि ते कटकसीम्निततो लघुगम्यताम् इति च तद्वचसा व्रजनायको भवदपायभिया धृतमाययो. धृतमाययो. इह च सन्त्यनिमित्तशतानि ते कटकसीम्निततो लघुगम्यताम् इति च तद्वचसा व्रजनायको भवदपायभिया धृतमाययो.
इह च सन्ध्यनिमित्तशतानि ते कटकसीम्निततो लघुगम्यताम् इति च तद्वचसा व्रजनायको भवदपायभिया धृतमाययौ. इह च सन्ध्यनिमित्तशतानि ते कटकसीम्निततो लघुगम्यताम् इति च तद्वचसा व्रजनायको भवदपायभिया धृतमाययौ.
And I'm also in dru, I'm hearing, and the last word is drutamayayo.
Okay. Bhavatapayabhiya dhrutamāyayau.
Stanza 4. Avasare khalu tatra cha kachana brajapade madura kritirangana tarala shatpada lalita kuntala kapata potakate nikatam gata. So at that time, when Vasudeva and they were all there at Mathura, so like we spoke earlier, Kamsa has a whole bunch of people who are, his emissaries who are going to go around killing babies now. And one of the things, the characteristics of all of these people are they are able to change their shape or form into anything they want, right? So one of them is Putana. So this name Putana, by just a literal translation of that, is someone who has got na means no, and Puta is the virtue. Somebody who does not have any virtue, who does not have any morals or ethics, right? So that person's name is Putana. That means the person does not have any of those virtues, right? So this Putana, so I don't know how many of you are from Bombay, but like in Bombay, anytime a child is born in anybody's house, there are this certain set of people who will show up at your door, asking for money, and then they'll bless your child and all that. But it is like they'll somehow know that a newborn baby has been born, and then they'll show up at your door asking for money, and then you give them money, and then they'll bless your child, right? So similarly, this Putana and others, they have a way of finding out where all babies have been born right now in Kamsa's kingdom. So this Putana is now who's very evil-minded. The way she comes is she comes as a very, of course, if she comes in her original form, nobody's going to let her in, right? So she's coming dressed as a very beautiful woman. So she's very nicely dressed, she's wearing flowers and she looks like a very virtuous lady, right? And then very attractive. And then what she does is she enters into Gokulam. She enters into Gokulam and then she's wandering around and she knows Nandagopa's house has got a new baby. So she enters into the house of Nandagopa. So when the Gopikas who are there, all of them are there around Krishna. When they see this very beautiful lady approaching, they don't question because they think that, this is some lady who has come, we haven't seen her before, but this is someone who's actually come here to maybe meet the baby because a lot of the people have been coming to meet Krishna there. Yeah. So, avasare khalu tatra cha kachana, comma, brajapade Madhurakritir Angana. If you want to break that, or you can say it together. Madhurakritir Angana. Tharala Shat Pada Lalita Kuntala, comma, Kapata Potaka Te Nikatam Gata. But Bhatrapad is saying, yeah, Putana, you may be evil and you're able to change your form. But the boy you're going near is also Kapata. He's also a very cunning boy that you're going to be going near right now. Avasare khalu tatra cha kachana brajapade madhurakritirangana tarala shatpada lalita kuntala kapata potakate nikatam gata.
Avasare khalu tatra cha kachana vrajapade madhurakritirangana tarala shatpada lalita kuntala कपटपोतकते निकटं गता अवसरे खलु तत्र च काचन प्रजपदे मधुराकृतिरङ्गना तरलषट्पदलालितकुन्तला कपटपोतकते निकटं गता.
अवसरे खलु तत्र च काचन व्रजपदे मधुराकृतिरङ्गना तरलषट्पदलालितकुन्तला कपटपोतकते निकटं गता अवसरे खलु तत्र च काचन व्रजपदे मधुराकृतिरङ्गना तरलषट्पदलालितकुन्तला कपटपोतकते निकटं गता.
That's fine. Papadisahata bhalaka chetana nishicharan vayaja kila putana brajavadoshviha keyamiti kshanam bimrushati shubhavantamupadane. So this is, she's not the first time she's doing. So Hatha Bhalaka, she has killed a lot of children in the past. So she kind of knows the technique of how to go into a newborn house. She knows how to walk in very seamlessly and then not attract too much attention. And then how to get the baby, how to, because sometimes when a lot of people lift a newborn baby, the newborn baby will start crying. So you cannot do that. So you need to lift it in a certain way that the baby feels comfortable. And then, offer it milk to eventually kill the baby. Because the way she does it, she applies poison on her breast and then gives it milk. So, and then the baby will consume it, it will die. So with that, she's done it so many times that she very casually enters into the room and there she sees the baby sleeping and then she lifts the baby. And they're saying in Bhagavatam, it will say this is like saying that there's a snake, poisonous snake, which is lying. Instead of letting it go, if you lift it thinking it's your pet and put it on your lap, it's going to end up biting you back. And that's what Putana doesn't realize. And then she lifts this baby and puts it in her lap. Sapadi sa hrita balaka chetana, comma, Nishicharan Vayaja, that's one word. Nishicharan Vayaja Kila Putana Braja Vadushviha Keyamiti Kshanam, comma, Vimrushatishu Bhavantam Upadade. So for a kshanam, for a moment, the gopikas who are there are just beginning to wonder who's this lady who just walked. She just comes in very casually, not attracting any attention, and then everything seems normal, and she's directly going for the baby. They're just beginning to wonder. Sapadi sahrita balaka chetana nishicharan vayaja kila putana brajabadhushviha keyamite kshanam Vimrushati Shubhavantam Upadade.
Sapadi sa hrudaya hruda samsar. Sapadi sa hruta balaka chetana nishicharan vayaja kila putana brajavadhush vihakeyamidikshanam vimrushati shubhavantam upadade. Sapadi sa kruta balaka chetana nishicharan vayaja kila putana vrachabadhush vihakeyamidikshanam vimrushati shubhavantam upadade.
Sapati sakrida balaka chetana nishicharan vayaja kila putana vrajavadhush vihakeyamiti kshanam vimrushati shubhavantam upadate. Sapati sakrida balaka chetana Nishicharan Vayaja Kila Putana Brajavadhush Vihakeyamiti Kshanam Vimrushati Shubhavantam Upadadhe.
Stanza 6. Lalita Bhava Vilasa Hritatmabhir Yuvatibhir Pratirodhuma Parita Stanamasau Bhavananta Nishedushi Pradadushi Bhavate Kapatatmane. Like you said, like we saw in Mohini Avataram also, when Mahavishnu came dressed as Mohini, and then very casually and naturally went and interacted, the Asuras just fell for that, right? And then they didn't want to question Mohini. Similarly here, because she's just so natural at this, and she comes and lifts, these Gopikas are like, should we tell her? Should we even first ask who she is? Right? And they didn't feel like even asking that because she was just so natural. It just felt like, this is some very nice lady who has actually come. She knows how to handle kids. She's very gently lifting the baby as if to, console the baby. So nobody wanted to go and interrupt her at this point. Although they were wondering who is this who has walked, right? So here the important thing is Krishna also is saying, what? It doesn't matter how you approach me. Just like we saw in Ajamila Pakyanam in Dasakam 22, when Ajamila called out Narayana without even actually calling Narayana, but his son Narayana, there is a value to that Namaksharam. Similarly, here, Putana is lifting Krishna with the intent of killing Krishna. But as far as Krishna is concerned, what are you trying to do to me? You are trying to be my mother because you are trying to breastfeed me. Right? So Krishna is like, sure, I'll come to you. I'm not even going to cry. You can lift me and you can breastfeed me. Right? So with that, Krishna also let her do what she wants to do. And then at that time, she then goes and she starts breastfeeding Krishna. Lalita Bhava Vilasa Hritatmabhir. And then you put a plus. We're going to say that together. Hritatmabhir. Yuvati Bihi. Put a F. Yuvati Bif. Pratirodhum aparita. Pratirodhum aparita, if you want to break it, or you can say it together. So those two lines will come continuously. Sthanamasau bhavananta nishedushi, comma, प्रददुषी भवते कपटात्मने ललितभावविलासहृतात्मभिर्युवतिभिः प्रतिरोद्धुमपारिता स्तनमसौ भवनान्तनिषेदुषी प्रददुषी भवते कपटात्मने
ललितभावविलासकृतात्मभिर्युवति हृतात्मभिर् again ललितभावविलासकृतात्मभिर्युवतिभिः प्रतिरोद्धुम् अपारिता स्तनमसौ भवनान्तनिषेदुषी प्रददुषी भवते कपटात्मने हृतात्मभिर्युवतिभिः प्रतिरोद्धुम् अपारिता स्तनमसौ भवनान्तनिषेदुषी प्रददुषी भवते कपटात्मने
ललितभावविलासहृदात्मभिर्युवतिभिः प्रतिरोद्धुमपारिता स्तनमसौ भवनान्तनिषेतुषी प्रददुषी भवते कपटात्मने ललितभावविलासहृतात्मभिर्युवतिभिः प्रतिरोद्धुमपारिता स्तनमसौ भवनान्तनिषेदुषी प्रदधुषी भवते कपटात्मने.
We'll switch halfway. Amitaji, you can be a student, and Shailaja, you can be a student. Stanza 7. समधिरुह्य तदङ्कमशङ्कितस्त्वमतभालकलोपनरोषितः महदिवाम्रफलं कुचमण्डलं प्रतिचुचूषितदुर्विषदूषितम्. So, like, it's a mixed feelings in the sense that Krishna, of course, because she's coming with a motherly affection, Krishna wants to let her experience that. That is on that one side. At the same time, Krishna also knows that she's actually gone and killed so many children. So its time has finally come to put an end to that as well, right? So she also wants to get rid of Putana at the same time. So at the time, so when Krishna, like we said, willingly goes. So when Putana is lifting, Krishna doesn't cry. He willingly goes, and then she starts trying to drink milk from her breast. Samadhi ruhya tadankam. I'm just going to break it at that ma, but you don't have to. Tadankam ashankitas. Or you can say it together as tadankam ashankitas and then put a plus. Tvamata balaka lopana roshitaha mahadi vamra phalam kucha mandalam, comma, prati chuchushita. First chu is a small u, next is a long u. Chuchushita durvisha dushitam. Samadhiruhya tadankamasankitastvamata balakalopanarositaha mahadivamra phalam kuchamandalam pratichuchushita durvisha dushitam.
Is that me first?
Yeah, Amruta. Yeah, anyone can go first. Go ahead.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, you want to go, Ma?
No problem. Miralyn. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. Samadiruhya tadangamashankitastwamata palakalopanaroshidaha mahadivambara phalam kujamandalam prati shushushida durvisha dushidam.
That third line of however you have it, Mahadivamra.
Mahadivamra phalam kujamandalam. Okay. Samadiruhya tadangamashankitas tvamada balagalopanaroshidaha mahadivam vamra phalam kujamandalam prati shushushida durvisha dushidam.
Durvisha. I've heard a little bit R sound there. Just Durvisha Dushitam.
Durvisha dushidam.
Durvisha.
समधिरुह्य तदङ्कमशङ्कितस्त्वमथ बालकलोपनरोषितः महदिवाम्रफलं कुचमण्डलं प्रतिचुचूषिथ दुर्विषदूषितम् समधिरुह्य तदङ्कमशङ्कितस्त्वमथ बालकलोपनरोषितः महदिवाम्रफलं कुचमण्डलं प्रतिचुचूषिथ दुर्विषदूषितम्.
Answer 8. असुभिरेव समं धयति त्वहि स्तनमसौ स्तनितोपमनिस्वना निरपतद्भयदायिनि जं वपुः प्रतिगता प्रविसार्य भुजाबुभौ. So when Krishna then starts trying to drink, so at that time, so along with just sucking and trying to drink the milk, he essentially gets her entire pranavayu out of Putana's breast. So at that time, then Putana then starts yelling because she's like, okay, she's not trying to get rid of Krishna, but she's not able to because Krishna is just clinging on to her, and then she's not able to get rid of him. And at that time, because the pranavayu then ends up leaving, she then gets her original form, and it goes through some descriptions which we'll tell later. So that is going to be one consistent thing. We'll see all these people are going to come in different forms, but eventually some of them, not all, when they come in contact with Krishna, they're going to get liberated. But they also show their original form. So that's what is happening here. Putana then ends up taking her original form, and she's then falling down on the floor because she then throws the child away, and because she's not able to bear that, and then she falls dead on the floor with her original form. Asubhireva samam dhayati twayi, short e, comma, stanamasau stanitopama niswana Nirapatat Bhayadayi. So very ghoram form, which we'll see later. Bhayadayi Nijam Vapuhu, comma, Pratigata Pravisarya Bhujabubhau. Asubhireva samam dhayate twahi stanamasau stanitopamaniswana Nirapatat Bhayadayi Nijam Vapuhu Pratigata Pravisarya Bhujabubhau.
Asubhirev samam dayati tvayi stanam asau stanitopam nishvana nirapadat bhayatayi nijam vabuhu pradikata pravisarya pujavupau.
That second line, Tanitopama, full ma, Tanitopama Niswana.
Stanitopama nisvana. Asubhireva samam dayati tvayi stanam asau stanitopama nisvana nirapadat bhayatayi nijam vabuhu pradikata pravisarya pujavupau.
असुभिरेव समन्धयति त्वयि स्तनमसौ स्तनितोपमनिस्वना निरपतद्भयदायिनि जं वपुः प्रतिगता प्रविसार्य भुजाबुभौ. असुभिरेव समन्धयति त्वयि स्तनमसौ स्तनितोपमनिस्वना निरपतद्भयदायिनि जं वपुः प्रतिगता प्रविसार्य भुजाबुभौ.
That's a 9. Bhayada Goshana Bhishana Vigraha Shravana Darshana Mohita Vallave Brajapade Tadurasthala Kelanam Nanu Bhavantamagrinnata Gopikaha. So anytime something big falls, it creates a lot of noise. So that's what is happening. The Putana suddenly falls along with Krishna. I was wrong the previous stanza. So she's still holding on to Krishna. So she falls down on the floor and with a very loud banging noise, right? So immediately all these people rush to see what has actually happened. And then they see this massive form of Putana lying outside the house because she's very big in size. And so her Goram form lying outside the house. And then on top of her, the baby is still intact, right? Krishna is still intact on top of her. So all these Gopikas and Gopikas who are primarily there, they all go rush and then pick up Krishna from on top of Putana. Bhayada Ghoshana Bhishana Vigraha. So not only are they hearing this loud thundering noise, they're also seeing this very Ghoram form, which is that kind of, it's adding to the fear and the terror there. So Bhayada Ghoshana Bhishana Vigraha, put a plus, Shravana Darshana Mohita Vallave. So those two lines are together. Brajapade Taduraha, put a is, Taduras Sthala Kelanam, comma, Nanu Bhavantam Agrinnata. You can put the break at that ma. Bhavantam Agrinnata Gopikaha. Sthala Kelanam means Krishna is just playing. Of course, one and a half months baby is not going to be playing, but it is just kind of patting or, just lying on top of that body there. Bhayada Ghoshana Bhishana Vigraha Shravana Darshana Mohita Vallabhe Brajapade Tadurasthala Kelanam Nanu Bhavantam Agrinnata Gopikaha.
Bhayada Koshana Bhishana Vigraha Shravana Darshana Mohita Vallave Vrajapade Tadurasthala Kelanam Nanu Bhavantam Agranada Gopikaha.
Agrinnata.
Grihnata.
Yeah, it's a half ha there. So Bhavantam Nanu Bhavantam Agrinnata Gopikaha.
Nanu Bhavantam Agrinnada Gopikaha.
Half ha there. So you can say Grihnata also, but sometimes many people don't say that, but either is okay.
Okay. Vayada Koshana Bhishana Vigraha Shravana Darshana Mohita Vallave Vrajapade Tadurasthala Kelanam Nanu Bhavantam Agranada Gopikaha.
Rajesh, I have a question.
Yeah.
Taduraha Skhala Kelanam.
Thala
Is it Nanu or
Kelanam.
is it Nanu?
Nanu.
Nanu. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Bhayada Ghoshana Bhishana Vigraha. No. Bhayada Ghoshana Bhishana Vigraha Shravana Darshana Mohita Vallave Vrajapade Taduraskhala Kelanam Nanu Bhavantamagruhnata Gopikaha.
The third line, Taduras Thala. Tha. Sthala Kelanam.
Khala, it's just ka.
No, it's is second
Is and ka. Ska. Ska.
Thala.
It's like SKHA. Ska.
No. STHALA. Sthala.
Oh, tha. It's a tha. Okay, got it. Tha. Sorry, not ka. It's tha.
Yeah.
Okay. It's basically Vrajapade Tadurasthala Kelanam Nanu, right? Yeah. Okay. Bhayada Ghoshana Bhishana Vigraha Shravana Darshana Mohita Vallave Vrajapade Tadurasthala Kelanam Nanu Bhavantamagruhnata Gopikaha.
That's it.
Rajesh,
question.
Sorry
go ahead.
to interrupt.
Most
of the verse in this Dashakam has Vraja, right? So is there like any specific?
The Braja, like you said, the Braja are the name of those people, like Brajavasis, right? So on the clan which are there, like we spoke about the Yadavas, right? And the Yadavas, at some point there's a fork that is actually happening. Okay, so one clan becomes the Vasudeva Avana, they are one, and then the Nandagopa, they are called as the Braja people, Vraja. Okay, So, and the Braja, so that's why they always put as Braja, because that's like clan Mari. Yadava Mari, they are like a clan, Brajavasis,
No,
right?
I know, but is there like a sukshmam there? Why they are using that in pretty much all the dashakams here instead of just saying Gokulavasi?
I think it's just a mixed only. சில இடத்துல வந்து they say Gopas, right? நிறைய இடத்துல வந்து the Gopa word got used, right? Where yeah, I'll tell you when it comes. Gopika, a lot of places the go இது அப்படியே மாறும் அது. But in the Braja is generally also referred to the region. So அதனால when they are there, it's just another way reference அவ்வளவுதான். You know, but it's
No
getting
secretive
no,
thing,
nothing.
right?
It's just
Okay.
some places Gopas are used, some places Braja is used. But now that has become Braj. Like in say northern, the B and Ba gets mixed, right? So
Yeah, that's why they call it Braj Bhasha, right?
yeah. So Sipona Braj, the Braj people it's become Bha right now. Yeah. No, but I don't think there's any special thing there, Minu. I think it's just used interrelatively.
Okay, thank you.
भुवनमङ्गलनामभिरेवते युवतिभिर्बहुधा कृतरक्षणः त्वमयि वातनिकेतननाथ माम् अगदयन् कुरुतावकसेवकम्. See, Bhattaripat says, Krishna, you are Bhuvana Mangala. You are the one who confers auspiciousness to the entire three worlds. But these Gopikas don't know, right? So that is the beauty here. So when they find out that, oh my God, this boy, this tiny baby has survived this demon, so they then take it, and because they are all cowherds, everything for them revolves around cow products. So they take the cow urine and then they wash the baby with cow urine because that is supposed to have antibacterial properties. So they wash the baby with cow urine, and then the cow dung is also considered medical. So with that also they clean the baby, and then they say your own names, oh Krishna. So they say, they say the kavacham, right, which is to protect. They're saying your own names and applying all these medicines onto you, right, thinking that that is going to protect you, right, and they don't know the realization that it is who you are. So anyway, so that is the devotion or love that Krishna wants to bring among all of them, is for them not to realize who Krishna is and still love Krishna the most, right? So anyway, so that's what they do. The nama bihi, so they kind of saying your own names and applying these medicines to you. So O Guru Arapa, please eradicate my ailments as well. भुवन मंगल नामभिरेव ते युवतिभिर्बहुधा कृतरक्षणः त्वमयि वात निकेतननाथ mam. So that second ma that is there, we're going to break it, put a im, mam. Next word will start with a agadayan kuru tavaka sevakam. भुवनमङ्गलनामभिरेवते युवतिभिर्बहुधा कृतरक्षणः त्वमयि वातनिकेतननाथ माम् अगदयन् कुरु तावकसेवकम्.
भुवनमङ्गलनाममभिरेवते युवतिभिर्बहुधा कृतरक्षणः त्वमयि वादनि केदननाथ माम् अगदयन् कुरु तावकसेवकम्.
The first line, Amitaji, you added an extra ma somewhere. It's Bhuvana Mangala.
Bhuvana Mangala नामभिरेवते युवतिभिर्बहुधा कृतरक्षणः त्वमयि वादनिकेतननाथ माम् अगदयन् कुरु तावकसेवकम्.
भुवनमङ्गलनामभिरेवते युवतिभिर्बहुधा कृतरक्षणः त्वमयि वातनिकेतननाथ माम् अगदयन् कुरु तावकसेवकम्. भुवनमङ्गलनामभिरेवते युवतिभिर्बहुधा कृतरक्षणः त्वमयि वातनिकेतननाथ माम् अगदयन् कुरु तावकसेवकम्.
Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Going to 41. which is, so I have a lot of description in mind, but the main thing is Putana Sharira Daha Varnanam. So getting rid of Putana's body, right? Or that pretty much is the entire Dashakam here. So this one tune, for those of you who are keeping track based on Dashakams, because for me, I don't know how to explain it, but so like the one which we did right now, Tadanunandama, that is Samano Smrita Tavakangri Yugmaha, Dashakam 14 tune. That was what we did 40. 41 is different, is slightly different tune, but I think that goes towards the Dashakam 12 tune. Swayam Bhuvo Manurato Jana Sargashu, slight difference in the tune because those are only two tunes we use anyway. So stanza 1. व्रजेश्वर शौरिवचो निशम्य समाव्रजन्नध्वनिभीतचेताः निष्पिष्टनिःशेषतरुं निरीक्ष्य कञ्चित् पदार्थं शरणं गतस्त्वाम्. So we kind of go back to Vasudeva right now, or Nandagopa, sorry, who is coming back after meeting Vasudeva, right? And he's in a hurry, thinking that, what has actually happened, right? I hope nothing bad has happened and there's no bad omen, like what Vasudeva has said. So as they were walking and they enter Gokulam, they see this massive sized body lying on the ground, right? And then they are really shocked because, first of all, they have not seen such a massive sized creature which is actually lying on the ground. And two, they have no idea what has happened, right? So they start wondering, how did this thing come about? Where did this come? Is this some magical something? And plus, at the same time, they are also thinking what happened to the people there. But the first thought that goes to Nandagopa's house is Vasudeva was right. He said something dangerous is going to happen, and something has happened here, and they're just entering Gokulam at the time. So they then Sharanam Gatastvam. So Nandagopa, of course, prays to you, O Guruvayurappa. He prays, so hope everything is fine. Brajeshwaraha. So, to your question, Braja Ishwaraha. So, one who's the head of the Braja, which is Nandagopa. So, again, that word is coming there. Brajeshwaraha, put a ish. Brajeshwarash Shauri Vacho Nishamya, Samabrajan Nadhvani Bhita Chetaha Nishpishta Nishesha Tarum Nirikshya, Kanchit Padartham Sharanam Gatastvam. I think one of the reasons also why this words, for example, here Shauri is referring to Vasudeva. So maybe one of the reasons why they're mixing, but they're mixing to land the chandas, maybe. To land that, he might be using the different words because each of them is different length, right? But the total chandas remains the same. So maybe for that. Vrajeshwara Shauri Vacho Nishamya Sama Vrajanna Dvani Bhita Chetaha Nishpishta Nishesha Tarum Nirikshya Kanchit Padartham Sharanam Gatastvam.
वृजेश्वर सौरिवचो निशम्य समावृजन् नत्वनि पीतचेताः निष्पिष्टनिःशेषतरुं निरीक्ष्य कञ्चित् पदार्थं शरणं गतस्त्वाम् वृजेश्वर सौरिवचो निशम्य समावृजन् नत्वनि पीतचेताः निष्पिष्टनिःशेषतरुं निरीक्ष्य कञ्चित् पदार्थं शरणं गतस्त्वाम्
व्रजेश्वरः शौरिवचो निशम्य समाव्रजन्नध्वनिभीतचेताः निष्पिष्टनिःशेषतरुं निरीक्ष्य कञ्चित् पदार्थं शरणं गतस्त्वाम् व्रजेश्वरः शौरिवचो निशम्य समाव्रजन्नध्वनिभीतचेताः निष्पिष्टनिःशेषतरुं निरीक्ष्य कञ्चित् पदार्थं शरणं गतस्त्वाम्.
Answer 2. निशम्य गोपी वचनादुदन्तं सर्वेऽपि गोपा भयविस्मयान्धाः त्वत्पातितं घोरपिशाचदेहं देहुर्विदूरेत कुठारकृत्तम्. So of course, when they're all wondering, how did this massive sized body come here? Who is it? What happened? So at that time, the Gopikas all come and tell them, that a lady like this appeared. She looked very normal, very natural. Somehow she just walked in and she ends up taking, this baby onto her lap, and she was feeding it milk, or she tried to, get it close to her, and suddenly we heard a loud thundering noise, and this is what we see. They say even we don't know who this is, right? So they look at the Gora Pishacha Deham. They're seeing this Goram body out there, and like I said, the size is so big, and it's right outside Nandagopa's house. So they can't quite cremate it there, and they are not able to lift the body and go to the cremation ground either. So literally it talks about how they have to take axe and chop the pieces, because it is so big in size that they cannot lift it. So they have to then chop the pieces essentially to take it to a place to cremate, right? That's how big the size of the body was. Nishamya Gopi, long E, Vachanadu Dantam, comma, Sarvepi Gopa Bhaya Vismayandhaha Tvat Patitam Ghora Pishacha Deham, comma, Dehur Vidureta Kuthara Kritam. निशम्य गोपी वचनादुदन्तं सर्वेऽपि गोपा भयविस्मयान्धाः त्वत्पातितं घोरपिशाचदेहं देहुर्विदूरेत कुठारकृत्तम्.
निशम्य कोऽपि वचनादुदन्तं सर्वेऽपि गोपा भयविस्मयान्ताः त्वत्पादितं घोर पिशाचदेहं देहुर्विदूरित कुठारकृत्तम्. निशम्य कोऽपि वचनादुदन्तं सर्वेऽपि गोपा भयविस्मयान्ताः त्वत्पादितं घोरपिशाच देहं देहुर्विदूरेत कुठारकृत्तम्.
Mamataji, that Pishacha Deham, and then there is a comma after that, okay?
Pishachatekam, okay. Tekam.
निशम्य गोपी वचनादुदन्तं सर्वेऽपि गोपा भयविस्मयान्धाः त्वत्पातितं घोरपिशाचदेहं देहुर्विदूरेथ कुठारकृत्तम्. निशम्य गोपी वचनादुदन्तं सर्वेऽपि गोपा भयविस्मयान्धाः त्वत्पातितं घोरपिशाचदेहं देहुर्विदूरेथ कुठारकृत्तम्.
Answer 3. त्वत्पीतपूतस्तनतच्छरीरात् समुच्चलन्नुच्चतरो हि धूमः शङ्कामधादागरवः किमेषः किं चान्दनो गौल्गुलवोत वेति. It talks about, that the moment Putana came in physical contact with Krishna, and then she immediately got purified. So all the sins that she had, because to come in contact with Krishna itself, she must have had a lot of punyam, she must have done at some point, otherwise it might not have happened. But she's also done a lot of sins, so all of that got completely eradicated, and then she got liberated, right? Because she came in contact with Krishna. So now this body, any human body you go burn, it's not going to smell good, right? We know that the body starts decaying and then it's not going to smell good. Now this Ghora Pishacha Deham, when it is there, they take it really far away from the main Gokulam area, because they are worried about what smell it is going to generate when you burn the body, right? However, in this case, when they burn Putana's body, this fragrance, it's like fragrance which is actually coming out of it. So they compare it and say, Kim Chandano, is it like a chandanam that you are burning? Are you burning sandalwood? Because then the fragrance comes out of it. Or Gaulgula, Gaulgula is Gulgulu, that's another fragrant, some herb. So it smells that good. So they are all wondering, how is it that this is smelling so good? Instead of it, we thought it was going to be bad, but it's actually getting good fragrance out of that. Tvat, Peter, Puta, Sthana, Touch, Charirat, comma, Samuchalan Nuchataro. It's Samuchalan uchchataro, but that becomes a double na there. So samuchalan nuchataro hi dhumaha. The next word I'll break it into three parts, but you can say it together as well. Shankam adhat agarava. Three words there. Shankam adhat agarava, or you can say it together. Shankam adhada garavaha. Put a ih garavah kimeshaha. So put a visarga and comma because we're pausing there. So kimeshaha, comma. Kim chandano gaulgula vota veti. Short e at the end. त्वत्पीतपूत स्तनतच्छरीरात् समुच्चलन्नुच्चतरो हि धूमः शङ्कामदादागरवः किमेषः किं चान्दनो गौल्गुलवोत वेति.
त्वत्पीतपूतस्तन तच्छरीरात् समुच्चलन्नुच्चतरो हि धूमः शङ्कामदादा करवः किमेषः किं चान्तनौ कौकुलो वो तवेदी.
And the last word, गौल्गुलवोत वेति.
Rajesh ji, sorry. Gaul gulo gulava gaug gulava.
Gaul il.
Oh,
Gaul. Okay. Gaul.
गौल्गुलवोत वेति.
गौल्गुलवोत वेति.
Yeah, but it's all one word because there are multiple words, sandhi joins there, but
त्वत्पीतपूतस्तन तच्छरीरात् समुच्चलन्नुच्चतरो हि धूमः सङ्गामदाद करव किमेषः किं चान्तनौ कौलकुलवोत वेदी.
gaula, you are saying it's gaulgulavot veti.
Gaulgulavot veti.
Rajesh, is it dhaveti or is thaveti?
Gulavota veti.
Is it
That
tha
last,
or dha?
it's athaveti,
Athaveti.
but that S symbol is coming, so that's why we're saying the whole word together. It's tha and veti.
Tha, it's tha, yeah.
Tha. Second tha.
Yeah, okay. त्वत्पीतपूतस्तनतच्छरीरात् समुच्चलन्नुच्चतरो हि धूमः शङ्कामधादागरवः किमेषः किञ्चान्दनो गौल्गुलवोत्थवेति त्वत्पीतपूतस्तनतच्छरीरात् is it cha, samucchala or normal cha?
The first cha. Samuchalan.
Okay. समुच्चलन्नुच्चतरो हि धूमः शङ्कामधादागरवः किमेषः किञ्चान्दनो गौल्गुलवोत्थवेति.
That's a four. Madanga sangasya phalam na dhure kshanena tavadbhavataamapi syad ityullapan vallavatallajebhyah tvam putanamaatanuta sugandhim. The Butterbird is saying beautifully that, Krishna, you are giving an indication to all these gopas and gopikas that a person who's so terrifying and who's coming with such evil intent, the moment they come in contact with me, they are becoming so fragrant. And the fragrance here is also a little bit of a metaphor indication for getting liberated or getting fulfilled, right? So, which means even if you come in contact with me through hate, you are going to get better. So for all of you, Gopas and Gopikas, who are going to fall in love with me and come and touch me all the time, just imagine how good it is going to be. So it is like kind of like a precursor of what is going to come for the Gopas and Gopikas. That is what you are actually, indicating to the Gopas and the Gopikas. So because of that, you made the body fragrant. Madanga sangasya phalam na dure, comma, kshanena tavat bhavatamapi syat ityullapan vallava tallajebhyah, put a visarga and comma there. Oh, you already have it there. Okay, some places I've added. So, tvam putanam athanuta. If you want to break it, that ma, or putanam athanutaha, and say it together. Put a visarga is to join that. Matanutas sugandhim. So just say one time because I want to finish the fifth stanza also today. Madanga sangasya phalam na dhure kshanena tavad bhavataamapi syat ityullapan vallavatallajebhyah tvam putanamatanutha sugandhim.
Madanga sangasya phalanna dure kshanena davat bhavadamapi syat ityullapan vallavatallajebhyah tvam putanam adanutas sugandhim.
Madanga sangasya phalanna dure kshanena tavad bhavataamapi syat ityullapan vallavadallajebhyah tvam putana matanutha sugandhim.
So that's why the slight anga, you cannot say putana matanutas. So either you say putana matanutas together or putanam athanutas sugandhim. That is the right break point.
Okay. Putana matanuthas. Will that be okay?
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Stanza 5. I'll say the meaning in the next class in the interest of time. Chitram pishachya na hatah, put a ih, hatah kumarah, comma. Chitram puraivakati shaurinedam iti prashamsan kila gopaloko, comma. Bhavan mukhaloka rase nyamangshit. Chitram pishachya nahatah kumarah chitram puraivakati shaurinedam iti prashamsan kila gopaloko bhavan mukhaloka rase nyamangshit.
Chitram pishachya nahadakumarah chitram puraivakati shaurinedam idi prashamsan kila kopalogo bhavan mukhaloka rasenya mangshit.
Yeah, nyamangshit.
Nyamangshit.
Is that Nia or Via?
Nya.
Okay. Chitram pishachya nahata kumarah chitram puraiva kathi shaurinedam iti prashamsan kila gopaloko bhavan mukhaloka rasenyamangshit.
Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. End the class here today. सान्द्रानन्दावबोधात्मकमनुपमितं कालदेशावदिभ्यां निर्मुक्तं नित्यमुक्तं निगमशतसहस्रेण निर्भास्यमानम् अस्पष्टं दृष्टमात्रे पुनरुरुपुरुषार्थात्मकं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं तत्तावद्भाति साक्षात् गुरुपवनपुरे हन्त भाग्यं जनानां कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. Thank you, everyone. So next class, next class I'll finish 41, which will be like another 20 minutes, and then I'm thinking we'll do a review of 31 to 40. Okay, so I'll just post it in the WhatsApp group, and you all can pick one. And then I know we have more than 10 students, so you all can then repeat once the 31 to 40 gets picked. If you don't have any chance, you can pick one different number that you want.
Rajesh, can we have a Google Drive to post all the, not necessarily the class recordings, but your recordings?
It is there. I'll send it in the WhatsApp group.
Yes, please. Yeah.
It's already there. Yeah.
Thanch you. I missed a few classes, so I want to catch up.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay.